Hello GAP teachers. This is going to be a video for step 2 of getting going on Teams Classroom. So where we left off was just getting signed in. If you did what I suggested, you probably just left it as keeping you signed in on a certain web page on your browser. But if not, you would again go to office.com. And so I had signed out just to show you what it would look like. If you kept signed in, I'll show you what it'll look like in a second here, but you should have, if you've used this just for your student account, it should look like this. It'll say sign back in as whatever your GAP student account is. And again, I suggest use a web browser for that and use the app on your desktop for your staff one. If anyone has questions, if you don't have the app on your desktop, ask me or Tom or somebody to get that on, because I think it's really going to help to have the two separate things. So I'm going to click sign in. Again, make sure it's the right account there. Okay. And I'm going to, now I could click this, don't show again, but I think I'll leave it on here so when I do other videos, but I would just stay signed in. If you don't like that, or if it's a computer you don't usually use or something, you wouldn't choose that. And so again, this is kind of a review of step 1 at this point. You're going to get to this page, you're going to click on Teams. And hopefully yours is faster than mine. I'm doing this at home and really slow internet. Okay, again, when this pops up, you should already have the app on your computer, or if you don't, let someone know and we'll get that on there, but you don't want to use the app for this account. Use the web app instead. Okay. Now, this is what mine looks like because I've already made 2 fake classes on here, which is what step 2 is going to be. We're just going to make a classroom and add a channel on there. So yours won't look like this. What yours will look like will be here in a second when I hit this. If you, in the future, if you already have Teams and you need to add another one, you will click this tab right up here. Now this is what yours, if you don't have a team made on yours, this is what yours will look like right now when you go to Teams. So we are going to create a team. What this box is for is there's 2 ways to be added to a team. One, we'll show you in a second, when you, as a teacher, when you add students, if you put their account in there, they'll just be added to that team. Otherwise, another way, when you create a team, you can get a code, and then you can send that code out to people, and then they would come to this page and enter the code. Okay, so what we're going to do for step 2 is we're going to create a team. Okay, and at this time, we don't have our class schedules and exactly what our classes are, so everyone is just going to create a fake team. So we're going to go create a team. Now, we have 4 different choices here. We're going to click class. These other ones, you know, we probably wouldn't use the staff one because we would use our other account for that. We probably wouldn't do the PLC because that would be another account for that. Other would be if you're running some sort of club or something like that. You know, if Dave gets a basketball team going, he could use this one for the basketball team or something like that. So at this point, you're going to click class. Okay. At this point, you're going to put the name of the class. So I'm just going to type, I don't remember what I named my other ones, but And I'm going to show you a couple of things in a minute. If you have a class that's the same, like first and second hour or third, fourth hour, what you can do with that. But in my normal day, my fourth hour would be MIT, and it would be a standalone class. So I'm going to have that. You could put whatever you want in the description. It doesn't even come up that often, but you can put whatever you want there. So I could put a fake math class to help people learn teams. Okay. If you wanted to, once you get going and you have more teams already, if it's like a new quarter or a new class that uses the exact same setup as another class, you can click on this and you can choose a different class or different team to create your new one if it's going to be the exact same. But we're not doing that right now, so you'll hit next. Alright, so now what I want you guys to do, just to play around with this, is pick, I don't know, 3 to 5 people of staff to add to this class. So maybe I'll just add the MIT group. So they're going to be my fake students. So now these people that I'm adding, when you guys go into your teams, this class will show up, and eventually we'll delete these, and when the beginning of the school year we'll get rid of these and have just our regular classes on here. But you're going to be like a student in this class. Okay, and then the other thing you can do, so either like some of our classes that maybe multiple teachers teach, like maybe the construction, if Craig and Sopan and Emu all want to be teachers, or like for my MIT classes, maybe I want Lee to have access as to be a teacher. So right now I have her listed as a teacher, and these are my students in the class. Okay, so don't forget I almost forgot to do this, so I'm going to click add. So those are my students in this class right now. And then I'm going to click add. Okay, because there's going to be certain features we'll look at in the future where teachers can edit stuff and students won't. Okay, so I have my teachers. Along with me in this class will be Lee. These are my students. I'm going to hit close. Okay, so now those people that I just added, when you click on here, you're going to have this show up, meaning you're going to be a student in that class. Okay, and so these won't be on there. There's a couple people I added in these classes, but this one will show up there. Now, as a teacher, the last part of step 2. So now that if you made your fake class, whether it's your fake language arts class or your fake construction class, the only other thing I'm going to have you do in step 2, underneath your team or your class, there's different channels you can have on here. Right now, this is just the general channel, meaning any post would be, it's kind of like Facebook, any post would be under here. So if I wanted to say, today is the first day of this class, it would come up here, and it's kind of like our chats on our teams. We don't really use the teams on our staff one too much. We do a lot of the chat stuff, but that'll show up here. And what's nice, it gives us an exact time, and this type of thing you can do kind of like our chats. And you're going to be able to add a ton of different stuff in here as far as information. We'll go over these things on top later. Let's not get too far ahead now. But the only other thing I wanted to do, and what I was thinking, and you don't have to do this when you do your actual class, but what I was thinking is we're asking the students to check in a lot. And instead of having him check in just on this general and having it mix in with all the other information that we're putting up there, I'm going to click on these three dots next to the name of the team or the class, and I'm going to add a channel. Okay, and so what I'm going to call this is attendance check-ins. Okay, you could put any description here. Again, that's not going to be seen much, so you don't really need to do that. For privacy, you're going to want to click the standard so everyone sees it, and then click this also so that it shows up on the list on the left side. Okay. So now when a student comes to this team, right now there's going to be a general, and then there's going to be attendance check-in. So this will be general, all your information here, and we'll go over this stuff later. And then they can come to this to do a check-in. Okay. And then that way all your check-ins are in one spot. They're not getting lost in all the other messages. It'll have the exact date and time when they did it. So I was just thinking that might be a useful thing. Again, when you do your actual class, if you don't want to do it that way, that's fine. That would be the main part for step 2, is to create a team and add a channel in that team. Okay. Now at this point, if you want to go around and kind of play with it and add some things, like I'll just show you a couple things. Though this is not involved in step 2 yet, but this is my fake third hour. Add an assignment here, which I won't go through right now, but there's an assignment tab over here. That'll be a future step, is how to add an assignment, but that'll show up here when you add an assignment. Laura made a comment and she said hi to fake class, so that's good. I know Laura's been on here. And then I just made a note here about thinking about using that. So you can set your notifications, so you can keep that, so you can, if you want to get notified when someone makes a comment. I go back to here to see my classes. Here's what I did for, this would be just an example of someone like either the construction classes, the nursing classes, and so on. It's a first and second hour combined, or in my case, like even though I have 2 separate classes for Yale Math, they do the exact same thing. So what I did is I made one team for it. So any info I post as far as materials and things like that would all be in one spot. I made a note here. Well, again, this will be a future step. If you go to Files above and click on Class Materials, you'll see all the materials they need for this. So here, if I go in that folder, I have a syllabus, my workbook, and my textbook. So that, again, that'll be a future thing, but just so you can see what the capabilities are. Then that's all under General. Okay. Then you might want 2 separate ones if you're, like for me, now this for the nursing class or construction, it might be 3rd/4th and then 5th/6th or something like that. But so if I had a note and I just want to go in my first hour, it would look like this. So like we will be heading down to CASAS test at 8:45 tomorrow. That would be something my first hour needs to know, not my second hour. And then my second hour, I would say I can make a note, after you are done with your CASAS test, return to your second hour class. So that's where I have one team for it because they do the exact same things, but I can have different channels under here. And so I can let them know if they have information I need to know separately. Okay. So it's kind of a lot of stuff there. Again, so the steps in this one, all I want you to for sure get done is just create a team and create a channel. Okay, so you'll be on this one. You're going to click team and repeat the steps in the beginning. Okay. If there's a question, let me know.